Hello, everyone. It's Brennan from Go Charlie. I am the senior AI party. I just returned from Mexico City on Monday. It's the first prolonged vacation I've taken since we started the company almost 2 years ago now. So that was a nice little respite. I came back super engaged, ready to go. We've already got a product release out. Um, some things that many of you have been asking for a very long time. So I want to take today to sort of walk through those and then give you a sense of sort of what's coming through the end of the year, as well as get into where things are going in the AI industry. So I think there's a lot going on in the AI space right now. OpenAI Dev Day was a pretty hallmark moment for people to be able to build their own GPTs, so much so that they now got rid of their ChatGPT Plus subscription. We're still open for business, so that's amazing. It means people are coming to our platform. We've also added 15,000 plus users, almost close to 20,000 users over the past 2 weeks. That's amazing. We love that traffic, but that also puts a strain on our systems. So if you've seen a slowdown in service, that's definitely why. Let us know how your experiences are. If you're running into any issues, please let us know so that we can make sure that those are getting remedied and introduce the appropriate amount of capacity. We know images were taking a while. We opened up more capacity yesterday. Now we are just humming. We're creating images all the time. We're now approaching several thousand images an hour, which is pretty incredible for the size of images that we're creating and for a demand purpose that people are super interested in that. Now, we did a release yesterday. We're going to continue doing releases through the end of the year. So want to make sure that you guys are all on board for those. We have some Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals coming, so we'll get those communicated to you all as well, especially for those of you that are affiliates, so that you can make some cash as you head into the holiday season. But with that, I want to spend the rest of today talking through the new updates that we did. It's a pretty substantial update in terms of backend and functionality. But what I'm also wanting to stress is that there's like a lot going on in the background of this agent product, and so we need to. There's just a whole bunch being worked out. This is a very experimental technology. We do expect over the long term that this is going to have benefits, but we want to make sure that we continue to be cutting edge, continue to deliver a great service, and also make sure that we are ahead of the game with where everything is going. So with that, let's jump right into some of the capabilities that we added yesterday. I will present my screen. And then, of course, we will dive right into everything else. Cool. So I think one of the first things that you're going to notice here is that when you come into your project, you're going to see a couple things that are new. First is, if you didn't know, there's a speech to text capability here. So you can just talk to Charlie and Charlie will take in your prompt. But then second is over on the left-hand pane. So many of you wanted a lot more visibility into your items. So what you can do is you can see for each project what type of posts you might have. You can see if you have text outputs. You can see if you have images. All of these are great if you are like me and you suck at giving your projects names, or you do a lot of demos, or you use this for a lot of scratch files and searches. This is an easy way for you to jump back into it. What you'll also then notice is over here on the left-hand side, you have this books button. So if you press that books button, you're going to open up something called the knowledge library. So this is where you're going to have a couple different things. First is the prompt history. So you'll see all the prompts that you've used. And if you want to take them back into a prompt, so let's say that I really like this one, I can click that button. It'll take it right back to the project prompt and I can run it. Now, another part of the asset library, and so this will load and you'll have a bunch more information that comes over time. So just be patient with it and it'll continue to load. If you feel like you're not seeing the prompts that you have here, you can also just copy these over. What we want to have happen is eventually you'll be able to favorite some of these so that they just show up in the project list with you. Now, the other very interesting part here is assets. So we added an asset library. So for those of you that use Canva, you remember on the left-hand side, you kind of see all of the things that you've uploaded over the time, and all the things that you've created, we're also mixing in here so that you can ultimately pull these back into your creation space. So this is really interesting because I can see all the videos I've uploaded. I can see the images that I've generated. Uh, it acts as kind of a nice little beautiful gallery, if you will. But what I think is the coolest part about this is what I'll jump into in just a second. But you'll also notice that there's a brand voice coming soon here. So we want to implement a portion of Charlie's brain being dedicated to understanding you. So this will be rules. This will be system prompts. This will be an understanding of your brand voice for your clients or for you or your business. It'll be where you can really come up with your stylistic guides. This is super important as we think that the future of all AI is being able to know you, understand you, learn you, and then ultimately create. So if we go into assets here, what you can do now, you can do this either via projects or you can do this via your asset library, is you can click into these images. So let's just choose one image that I generated here, right? I really like this one. This one's pretty clean. Kind of reminds me of a Target ad. So once I've clicked this, all of my assets are still available here. I can still see all of these. But you'll notice now that you have all of these updating capabilities. So first and foremost, you can filter. So if you click filter, you can invert these. You can make it Technicolor. You can choose multiple of these. I can make it this brownie, so it's a little bit more faded. I can do sepia tone if I want to go classic Instagram. You can remove color, so this allows me to change colors throughout the space. I can emboss this, make it a little bit more fun. I can blend colors as well. So you have all these different settings that are now available to you simply just by pressing this bar. Now, let's say that I don't want to do any filters. All I do is go to cancel. Now, I can also resize. So if I want to keep this locked, I could say that I want to go to 2400 and it will update the image size. I can crop the image. So if you want to go 4x3, 16x9, 5x3, 4, 7, 5, 10, 8, square, custom, you name it, you can do it. All of that is available to you. You can also flip the image if you like. You can flip it horizontally, vertically. You can turn it a little bit if you just want to have some fun in the spin washer. And then you can also use these dials to kind of help with that. But I don't really want to make any changes to this image. Or actually, let's do a 4x3 just for fun here. Or maybe, yeah, I kind of like 5x4. I think that'll work for what I'm envisioning here. So we click apply if we want to apply something to an image. Then you go to here. So draw. So maybe I really want to draw like a heart. Masha's way better than me at this. But let's say that I want to draw a heart and be kind of fun with it. I can choose my brush type here. So there's a circle brush, there's a diamond brush, there's square brushes. All sorts of different options are available to you. And then you can adjust the size of those brushes. And of course, you can adjust the color. Now, I hate this heart. I think it looks like a child wrote it. So I'm not going to do it. So click cancel. But then text. So I think this is the biggest problem that we've seen with any AI model. Even DALL-E 3 that claims to do this can't do it reliably. And so we've given you an ability to put in text and then make a whole bunch of edits. So let's say I'm going to put this in. So you're prepared for that Hallmark moment under the mistletoe. And let's say that I want this to be, I don't really like this font for this. Maybe this permanent marker. That seems like a little bit weird. Let's see. So I kind of like this one. So once I kind of find a font that I like the copy that I like, I can simply just change colors here. So if I want to make it a little bit more festive, I can. I can also change the texture of the text. So colors, where you like change the colors. You can also make the text gradient filled. So this is where you can play with the different colors and the different fonts. But then you can actually put a background on this. So let's say that I wanted to put a white background on this text box. I can. So that's an easy way that I can just add a format in the background of it. But I don't really want to put a format on this because I think it looks better just as plain text, especially on a color-rich background. So then you can change the opacity, you can change the outlines of the text, and you can even add shadow to the text. Now, in some of these, you don't end up having all of these options available. So if you're not getting like shadow, you're not getting opacity, some fonts work with it, some fonts do not, simply because they're just not supported in the code that we have. So let's see, maybe I'll play around with one more font. Let's go card. Yeah, I like this one. So let's, so now that I have this text, I can simply click out of it and I can put it up here. So I can also use emojis. Let's do holidays, maybe. We'll see if we have a fun one. All right, cool. Yeah, we can add a Christmas tree. So this will be fun. Yep. So now we add that in the copy. We have our image that's already been generated. We have all of the fonts here. So I'm just going to say apply for that text. Now I got that involved as well. I can put shapes in here. So we have different shapes. So maybe you want to add like stars and change different colors. That's also available to you. Yeah, background, opacity, outline, shadow in here, similar to how you have them in other capabilities. But then you can also, let's just exit out of shapes, stickers. So this is where you can add like little emojis, not so different from what you can do with iMessage if you are using the iMessage sticker reaction. But what I like is the landmarks capability, because you can kind of go through and add some like outlines of buildings, add some layering, especially if you're doing anything with New York or maybe say your Christmas cards. You can go through these and make some pretty interesting designs, although Masha is much better with those than I am. So you can also add these bubbles and then layer text over them. So if you want to have some of your stock photography, adding images like that, you can definitely do so. Now, one of my favorites personally, and I think just makes everything look better, is when you can have a frame. So if you go to a frame, all you need to do is make slider adjustments and the frame will zoom out. So I think that adds just like a nice little touch here. There's a bunch of different frames available to you. Obviously, you can change those frames based on this. I like this one. I think it's super crisp. So I'm going to keep this out here. Adds a little bit of holiday flair. And then I think we're done. You can also change your corners. So if you want your corners to be a little bit more rounded, which seems to be the case in New Days, you can simply click apply and your corners will be more rounded. And then lastly is merge. So this just means that all the layers that you've created are now flattened into one. Now, I want to show you one important thing. So let's say that you want to download the image. So you want to download the image, but you want to and keep that one. But you don't want to save it to over the top of the other image. So maybe you want to keep this image and do a whole bunch of copies. So if you don't want to save that, you just download the image, but then you don't click save here. If you click save here, it will automatically overwrite what's in the UI. So if you click save, it will overwrite what's in the UI. If you don't click save, it'll just store the base image. So for me, I want to keep this. So I'm actually going to exit out. Now, this is super important because we don't want you to lose your work, but at the same time, we want you to be able to reuse the same image. So just be cognizant of that whenever you're creating it. So if you want to make multiple of the same image, you can just download these and go to work. Now, that's really cool. Just to show you that you can access this through other parts of the platform, simply just go to GoCharlie Christmas project like I've created, and I have all of these available to me. So if I want to go into this, it functions just the same as Asset Library, where I can click in. It shows all the images that came out in a specific prompt. I can filter, resize, crop, draw, text, shapes, stickers, frame, corners, and merge. So it's accessible to you for any image that you've generated. But more importantly, if you upload an image, so for those of you that don't know, you can click images here and you can upload an image. So now that's going to upload to this prompt bar or this content card that's here. And so now I have this McLaren, and now I can go into the asset library and I can actually add text to this. So supercars are cool, but have you ever given someone an AI puppy? Of course, this is the copy that I would write. I would prefer the supercar, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. So this just shows you that you can upload images that you already have and make edits to them the same way that I just showed you. So this means that not only can we enhance your AI generated images, but now we can take client images. Now we can take your existing photo library, bring that into the GoCharlie platform and use these editing capabilities so that you ultimately have a very easy to use text editor and image editor that's available to you. So this is really great. You can also generate stock photos with Charlie and make edits to those. So you can pull from our Pexels library and a bunch of other assets. But I think this is super intriguing. I think it goes the last mile that AI is just terrible at right now, which is generating text in an image. So we want to give you the level of control matched with the power of the AI so that you can get to a finished product and ultimately grow your business this holiday season. So that's the big updates for this particular push. There are a whole bunch of other search prompts that you can use in here. There's also the knowledge library, which will help you countless times, because I don't know how many times I'm starting from a blank prompt and I go in here and I'm like, oh, I really like this one. I'm going to use this prompt and I'm going to make some adjustments and then I'm going to run it. Works really great. You also have the visibility for projects. And then one last update, when you're in a project now, you can do add content. And so you can create a blog, an image, transcribe, research, blank, RTE. All of this is buttons you can click. So we know that once you're in a project, you want to be able to create content. So you click an image, you click transcribe, you click research, click blog. It will come up with a prompt that shows you how to do this. We've also updated many of these suggested prompts, so don't be afraid to use that. And then, of course, your prompt playbook is available at all times here to make more and more content. Last thing I'll say is that the edit versus create mode has went away. So we are only doing edits here. So if you want to create new content and use that as context, you can either copy that information into the add content button. So click add content and you can copy that information, or you can attach that information here as a file download. So if you've copied it elsewhere, that's really great. You can attach those as files. So create mode has went away. We believe that is better suited to have Charlie Unleashed for create mode. So if you want to select text and then use Charlie Unleashed, that's sort of your editing in this mode. And then if you want to create new content with some of this as context, just copy and paste it into add content and go to work. So that's it for the updates for this this project. There's a bunch of updates that happen in the background, a bunch of performance upgrades, but hopefully this gives you an idea of what's now available to you in your GoCharlie platform. So with that, thank you everybody for joining us. If there's no questions from the crowd, I'll go ahead and give you guys your mornings back. I know this was put on the calendar a little short notice. As a heads up for next week, we're going to do our Charlie's and Coffee on Black Friday. So we'll do that in the morning. And then I'm going to open a large Christmas tree lot, which I will send you all a photo of that day. And then the following weeks, we will return to our normal Thursday cadence through the end of the year. So if there's things you want to see in the weekly AI party, if there's things that you are wondering about the tool, make sure to follow us in our Facebook community and ask those questions there. Follow us on YouTube for more content that's coming out. And of course, you have my email. You can always message me. So thank you all for the time today and looking forward to the next couple of releases we got coming your way. All right. Have a great day, everybody.